Ladies and gentlemen, please continue to eat as we start to go into our ceremony portion of the night. And again, it's so wonderful to have all of you back. It's so wonderful, even though you're planning this event over the year, and then you get your honorees, and then after you put them together, after the fact, you realize the connections sometimes they all have to each other. Putting this together, we didn't initially know that, like, even Dr. Hines would have so many connections to some of these people being here at the same time, and that wasn't intentional. Sometimes that's just a God thing. So as we start here, just want to bring some special recognition to some people we have here first. Corey and Melinda Hines, Dr. Hines, President of Alumni Banquet, thank you for being in attendance today. We'd like to recognize any trustees or former trustees who might be here. Please stand and be recognized. Or raise your hand. We'd like to also recognize any current HPU Sports Hall of Fame members. If you're a current HPU Sports Hall of Fame member, please stand up. And I'd like to recognize any HPU athletic staff that's here. And I do know there's several that are here. Please stand if you're on the HPU athletic staff. We'd also like to thank any Jacket Century Club members that are here, that whether you give a one-time or you're part of our monthly donors, you just don't realize how far your dollar helps us to advance the Alumni Athletic Department and do what we do and to be successful. So thank you for giving back to the Jacket Century program for those that are in attendance. We're going to have a great program. We're going to be honoring a Team of the Year, the 1994-95 TIAA Men's Basketball Championship Team, an Alumni of the Year, Center of Boston Stoops. That will be presented by Rodney Chant. And then we have an Alumni of the Year, Jared Root, and that will be presented by Hunter Sims. And then 2 Sports Hall of Fame inductees. The first one, Henry Gonzalez, and that will be presented by Timber Shear. And the second will be Terry Davis posthumously, and that will be presented by his brother Marshall Davis, who is also a Sports Hall of Fame member, Timber Shear as well. And then Hunter Sims will bring our closing remarks. Kevin Backnell, head football coach, will be bringing our benediction at the end. And let's get to our first presentation of the evening. Great errors begin with great first, and that 1994-95 Howard Payne men's basketball team would be the first of a run of HPU of championships that would define a decade and era of HPU men's basketball. Finishing with a 12-13 overall record, but went 9-1 in Texas Intercollegiate Athletic Conference play. The Yellow Jackets, under head basketball coach Charles Patillo, won the 1995 TIAA, that's the Texas Intercollegiate Athletic Association Championship, and secured a bid to the NEIA Division II National Championship Tournament in Napa, Idaho. The national tournament appearance was the first for the Yellow Jacket program since the late 70s. They would eventually fall to the #1 team in the nation, Northern State University, 90-78 in the opening round of that Division II national tournament. They were the number 32 seed, which they also would end up leading by as much as 3 points in the second half, and had beaten that #1 team, which would go on to actually, I think, win the national championship game. It was a tough draw in the first round. It's always more reflecting of the most significance of a team, but also how much that team impacts its community around it, the university and other people. And one thing that always stood out to me, my wife always told me all the time, is she was a cheerleader during that time at Howard Payne. And some of her and her teammates' fondest memories were going to that national tournament in Napa, Idaho that year. And that this is one of their fondest memories. So, great teams and things that are done by great affect other people around them, not just what they do, but it spans out. It's a part of people's fondest memories of Howard Payne, not just your memories. So your influence reached much farther. Throughout that season, several HPU players had memorable performances, with Danny Wynn and Edward Big Randall would go on to be named TIAA Players of the Week that season. The Yellow Jackets carried an 8-game winning streak going into that national tournament, and HPU's last loss that season was a 92-85 overtime decision at McMurray on January 28th. So basically, they didn't lose for almost 2 months straight after that. That season, the Yellow Jackets were 10-1 in games which they led at halftime. Danny Wynn led the Yellow Jackets that year with 448 points, that's 17.8 points per game, followed by Edward Big Randall with 238 points, that's 14 points per game. Constantine Cornbread Jack also averaged in double digits that year at 10.8 points per game. The leading rebounder was Edward Big Randall with 7.1 per game, and the leading assist person was Natter Downey with 3.5 per game. He's the current head coach here at Howard Payne. Those receiving TIAA honors were Danny Wynn, first team all TIAA, Edward Randall, first team all TIAA, and Natter Downey, honorable mention, all TIAA. That Howard Payne men's basketball team members that year included Kelly Clark, Ryan Tomlin, Derek Davis, Natter Downey, Edward Randall, Danny Wynn, Steve LaFleur, Neil Rundle, Jeff Jenkins, Joe Brenner, Terminio Yates, Constantine Jack Cornbread, and David Canfield. The staff included head coach Charles Patillo and assistant coach Matt Wilkins and Jason Penny. The manager that year was Jeremy Baker. For their success and commitment to Howard Payne athletics and to HPU sports, would like to recognize the 1994-95 men's basketball team as the 2023 HPU Sports Alumni Team of the Year. Let's give them a big hand. Gentlemen, come on up. Speaking on behalf, we've asked them ahead of time if they'd like to say some words, is head coach Charles Patillo and also current HPU men's coach David Dow. Natter Dow, excuse me, his brother.
This will be very brief. I'm so proud of these guys. We had a long year, a great year out there. Now I would like to just mention something about them individually, if you don't mind. Big Randall, Dr. Big Randall, an earned doctorate from the University of Arlington, and now he's a professor. And then Danny Wynn was he's a retired firefighter from Austin. Made it through that. He said they keep him really busy as a firefighter in Austin. Kelly Clark is a dentist in Illinois, and I guess he gets a travel trophy. Steve LaFleur is a financial guy in San Antonio, brother of a head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Right? Then Cornbread Jack. These guys are all great ambassadors for Howard Payne. They preach Howard Payne wherever they go. Cornbread is in the Air Force, and everywhere he was stationed, he posted a picture of himself with his Howard Payne basketball jersey on. Howard Payne, yeah. My personal favorite's on the China Wall. Howard Payne is known on the China Wall. David Canfield is head basketball coach at Georgetown High School, successful coach there. Jeff Jenkins just finished a very successful year as head coach for the women's basketball at Brenham Junior College. He went to the Elite Eight and with 300 wins. Matt Rookins is the superior manager, equipment manager, organizer. I mean, he could get it done. I didn't have to worry about anything as long as he was around. Derek Davis is the head basketball coach at McAllen.
I just left that alone, retired next year.
Assistant, I'm sorry. Okay,
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not getting any. Okay. Yes, sir.
okay. So quite a few of them are coaches. Natter Daly, head coach at Howard Payne University now. And he's starting his third year. And Natter and I go a long way back. He was my point guard for 4 years at Brownwood High School. And you may not believe it right now, but looking at him in high school, he was about the same size as this microphone right here. But he was always a good player. In every team, there has to be one that gives up his own desires for success. And Natter was the one on his team, and the other two that followed them, of setting up everybody else. We were in the corner at Word one night. We called a play to lob to Big, and Natter threw the ball in the basket, on the lob. It was supposed Big was supposed to catch it right there by the basket, and dunk it, but Natter threw it in the basket and ruined the whole play. If you're a scorer, you just can't help it. But I'm so very proud of these guys and the successes they've made of themselves and lives after Howard Payne. They're always going to be a good influence on the kids that they come in contact with, and they understand that, and they've been a good influence on their own kids. So Canfield is keeping or have been keeping the draft board quota filled in Georgetown for quite a few years. He has 6 sons, raised his own team. There's something unique and individual about every one of them. I love them. On the way to that trip in Napa, Idaho, we took off from Austin, but we had to stop over in San Antonio. And when we landed there, the wind was blowing about 80 miles an hour, and we were coming in the airport sideways. And Big said, "Coach, are we about to crash?" I said, "Yeah." It kind of felt like that. They got to Idaho, they played their hearts out against the #1 team in the nation, and made us all proud. Thank you, guys. I have to tell one more story about Natalie. Last weekend I had a little, I had a little episode where I passed out in the Home Depot parking lot. So they took me to the emergency room, and while I was in there, the nurse came in and said, "Your wife and son are here." So my wife and Natter walked in. I got a really big surprise right there.
Well, one of the big reasons why I wanted to talk is because, Coach hit the nail on the head about everybody, about this team and whatnot. But he left out a big thing, and I knew he wouldn't talk about it, and that's him. That's Coach. And I'll tell you one story. I'll be brief. I know Hunter's cringing at me talking in public, so it's kind of anyway. We're going into conference play. I think we were 2-10, just an ugly record. We're going to Hardin-Simmons. They're the defending conference champion. I think they were picked to win it anyway. So we're going to their place, and we walk in, and I know Coach stuck you talk about billboard material. He stuck an article up on there that was from the Alumni Banquet that morning, previewing the game. And I think the headline said something like, HPU can't win out of Brown County, and the whole article, I'm talking ripped us from head to toe. And being at 2-10, we're sitting there, we're like, man. So they lit a fire underneath us. And I don't know about you guys, but man, that really set me off. And not only did we go out and win the game, but we set the record for most points scored in that gym by an opponent with 117. So, and that kind of set off our run through the deal. Now, I don't have the article that morning, but I did keep the one Sunday morning. Same article, same newspaper, same writer and everything. And the headline, I've made a photocopy because it's old and fell apart. Anyway, it says Jackets, Hammer, Cowboys. This is the first two deals. It says the cranial crushing that residents near the intersection of Ambler and Pine could hear Saturday afternoon was the Hardin-Simmons men's basketball team getting its brains beaten out by Howard Payne. No, that's not it. So it says, it also goes on, it said this one was so lopsided the Yellow Jackets could play the final 20 minutes after halftime with bottom. So that kind of set it off, and being Hardin-Simmons made it even better. So we also had something else that year happen, and I wasn't going to bring it up. And Coach and Mama B lost their daughter over the summer. Tammy, Hall of Famer, unbelievable player, great player. We used that as a motivation for us to give them something to take their mind off that. We weren't sure if Coach was going to come back and coach after that happened. I don't know if he was sure. I don't know. But that was our kind of gift to him. I said there was, I don't know if y'all remember the University of Dallas, the last conference game. We go in and win, just that emotion in the locker room, man. You really just had to be there to understand what it was, because we gave that to them. So, and that's huge to us. Coach hit the nail on the head. He's a great leader. You look up here, even the guys that weren't even here, everybody's successful. He is a role model for us. Still is. I love to see him up in the stands every game. I'm just trying to get a team as good as we have. So, and I said it and I'll say it again. I said, if you didn't learn something from Coach Patello, you weren't listening. So, thank you.
All right, our next award will be presented by Rodney Chili.
A 1987 graduate of Howard Payne University, Coach Sandra Fawcett Stoops has been a varsity volleyball coach for 35 years. In Sandra's time as a head coach, her teams have won 923 total matches. Coach Fawcett is currently number 3 overall in total career wins among active coaches and in the top 10 all time in the state of Texas. At Howard Payne, Sandra was a member of the HPU volleyball program, serving as a team captain from 1984 through 1986. She would earn all Lone Star Conference honors in 94-96, as well as being named to the Lone Star All-Conference team in 1984. Also a member of the tennis program while at HPU, she has the distinct honor of being the only female at Howard Payne University to receive the Paul J. Cunningham Memorial Award. After college, she served as a head coach at Greenville, Highland Park, and came to Waxahachie in 2001. During the past 21 years, Waxahachie varsity teams have compiled an overall record of 710 wins and 237 losses. The Lady Indians have made the playoffs 20 consecutive years in a row, earned 19 by-district championships, 16 area championships, 9 regional quarterfinalist appearances, and made it to the Sweet 16, or the regional tournament, 11 times. Coach Fawcett Stoops has won 11 District Coach of the Year's honors, District Staff of the Year's honors as well. Named the Ellis County Coach of the Year in 2016, the Ellis County Coach of the Month in September 22. The Sports Import Coach of the Week, Texas Volleyball Insider, August 2022. She had been married for 30 years to her husband, Blaine Stoops, teacher and coach at Corsicana ISD. They have one daughter, Taylor Stoops, who is a GA at Angelo State University. For her accomplishments over many seasons of coaching, Howard Payne Sports would like to recognize Sandra Fawcett Stoops as the 2022-2023 HPU Sports Alumni Coach of the Year. Please welcome and give a warm round of applause for Sandra Fawcett Stoops.
Thank you, Coach Chant, for the wonderful, wonderful words. I love that. That's gorgeous, actually. I want to thank the people that came with me today because they're the people that have been my support system throughout my entire career. I have my twin sister, Susie Bailey, and her husband, Chuck Bailey. We all came to Howard Payne together. Chuck played on the football team, and Susie and I played volleyball together, and then we were doubles partners, unless we were mad at each other, and then we weren't allowed to play together. My Bobby Knowles is right here. I coached with her for 18 years when I first went to Waxahachie, and she's a wonderful friend and was a great partner in crime when we were coaching together. Her daughter Erica, sitting right next to her, Erica Weber. I coached her at Waxahachie, and now I coach with her. And there's nothing more rewarding than coaching with someone that you actually coached when they were younger. And we have a great time, actually too much fun often. Most of all, I want to thank my husband, Blaine Stoops, and my daughter, Taylor Stoops, for their undying love and support, and you guys are my rock. And they live it with me every day because he's a coach as well. And so we've had a lot of times where we just sit and we have those coaching talks. And I know there's a lot of coaches in here. So yeah, you know, you kind of live the same life, and it's nice to be able to go home and rehash it. And now Taylor's coaching as well. And so we're definitely a coaching family. I want to congratulate the team that just came up. Coach, I would love to just sit down and talk with you because I think there's a lot to be learned from you. But congratulations to everybody else that is receiving awards tonight. To receive this honor from my alma mater means so much to me. It really, really does. It was truly a blessing for me to land in Brownwood and plan the volleyball team and tennis team for Howard Payne. The education and life lessons I learned here have had a great impact on my life and on my career. So I'll forever be grateful for this university and the professors and other students that poured into me. There's a quote I want to share. The talents God gives you is his gift to you. The way you use your talents is your gift back to him. As a coach, I've had so many opportunities to positively impact the lives of athletes, to be a part of their everyday life, to witness their growth as an athlete and just as people. I've developed some of the most special relationships with other coaches and other players, and I will cherish them for the rest of my life. I know this sounds cliche, but I truly have never worked a day in my life. I love this profession, and I'm so grateful that God led me down this path. And I want to thank you again for this wonderful honor.
Congratulations, Coach Chant. Thank you for presenting. A lot of you probably aren't aware, but he's a Howard Payne alum as well and currently serves as the Director of Athletics at San Angelo ISD. So on behalf of Dr. Hines and myself, thank you for not charging us when we use the facility on our way to Alpine down there when we need it for our football teams. And so very much appreciate it when we need it for those teams. So. My name is Hunter Sims. I serve as the Director of Athletics, and part of my job, I get to interact with our trustees and our alumni board, and most notably our alumnus, and I'm honored to present our alumnus of the year to Mr. Jared Root. So, Root, I guess I got to read all this. So, all right. So. Hang tight with me here because he's done a lot in his distinguished career so far. So Jared Root is a 2004 graduate of Howard Payne University with a degree in athletic training and a minor in pre-med. Root went on to receive his Bachelor's of Science in Nursing from the University of Texas Arlington in 2014 with his Master's in Nurse Practice from TWU in 21. After Howard Payne, Root worked for Children's Medical Center of Dallas, several orthopedic and sports medicine practices in the DFW area, was an athletic trainer for numerous professional sports organizations. During the same time period, he was the medical coordinator for several action sports programs such as the Red Bull North America Pro Wakeboarding Tour, the Michael Irvin reality show, the Dallas Cowboys organization, and his most enjoyable sport to cover, which is rodeo. He has volunteered with Justin Sports Medicine team for over 7 years. In 2008, He founded the Red Eagle Ranch and became the owner and operator, which raises cattle and bees in North Texas to sell beef and honey directly to the public. He serves on numerous agricultural boards in Texas to promote and advocate for the importance of the agriculture in our fast-growing state. He always states that if you eat, you're involved in agriculture. I promise after the summer, I'll sign up for my Texas Farm Bureau membership. In 2011, he started White Coat Enterprise LLC and is still the owner and operator today, leading a team of advanced practice providers that assist in the care of patients and surgery to over 68 surgeons at over facilities across the DFW Metroplex. Last year, Root took over the Rodeo Sports Medicine LLC, a mobile sports medicine system that provides free of charge medical support services to professional rodeo athletes at arenas where they compete across the country. He's now the owner and operator for this program and has been on CBS Sports for his work with the rodeo in America. He volunteers his time speaking to schools, participating and advocating, and even testifying before the Texas Senate for Agriculture, and providing students with internship rotations and athletic training in the nursing profession. And we're also grateful for all the help that you do for our student athletes, helping us get them into the doctors on short notice when needed as well. In his free time, I think maybe he sleeps a little bit, I'm not really sure. So I'm gonna read off a few of his accomplishments and things that he's currently involved in. Jared Root was a Boy Scout of America Eagle Scout Award. He was a licensed athletic trainer, for the state of Texas. I'm not gonna read all the acronyms if you're all right with them. A certified orthopedic physician, a licensed surgical assistant, advanced practice nurse, a registered nurse. Some of his affiliations that he's a part of, like we said, athletic trainer with the Dallas Cowboy organization, Red Bull North America medical team, Pro Wakeboard Tour medical coordinator, Dallas Stars junior hockey team, medical coordinator, North Texas High School Rodeo medical coordinator, Rodeo Sports Medicine medical coordinator, and the Texas-Oklahoma Little Britches medical coordinator. He's had leadership positions currently and in the past. Currently serves as a trustee for Howard Payne University. He was formerly the Alumni Association president, Denton County Farm Bureau board member, and leads an agricultural program. Root, as the athletic director and a friend, I'm thankful for you and your family and all that you guys do for us. Your positive energy for the athletic department, for us on staff and the students, second to none. As you guys all heard, Kara, thank you very much for sharing him so much with everybody across the state. I know he gives up a lot of time at home to influence so many. Tucker and Jack, thank you guys for being such loyal, enthusiastic Yellow Jacket fans. We appreciate it. So, Root, congratulations. And so, for your commitment to our student athletes at Howard Payne and dedication to our current success and future success of all of our Yellow Jackets, HPU Sports would like to recognize you as the 22-23 HPU Sports Alumnus of the Year.
First of all, thank you, Hunter, for those kind words. I'd like to start out by posing the question, and if there's any other Eagle Scouts in the room, this will be a little bit more impactful for them, but still applicable to everyone. I want to take a moment and reflect back to the number one under the accomplishments that Hunter had read off, which is my rank of Eagle Scout. At the age of 14, I was the youngest in the troop's history and the oldest of 4 brothers to obtain the rank of Eagle Scout. Through scouting, I've met others who know the determination it takes to obtain the rank and the people who have pushed and helped me along the way. So there are 5 pillars that I would like to go over. They're quick but impactful. They may be pillars to me, but do not think they are all mine. They're yours to use, yours to share. Like them into your own lives if you choose to. So here we go. I'll be quick. Number one, give all the glory to God. At the heart of the scouting movement is our duty to God. You know, we recite the reverence before every prayer and in our oath. But what does this mean in our daily lives? Acts of thanksgiving, humility, awe, and praise for God's greatness allows us to live our lives abundantly. Number two, details matter, so pay attention. There's no detail too small you can overlook or dismiss. Consider the example set by some of the most successful organizations in the world. Apple is famous for its day-long discussions about the discussions of a single pixel. Google spent days in the boardroom just determining the color of green in their logo. Details matter because they add up. Number three, continuously improve. Improve one thing by one increment every day for 1 year. Never rest on your laurels. Nothing stays static over the long term. In any industry, the customer's needs and the product to meet them will evolve. If you improve continuously, you won't be left behind. Number four, be humble. As an Eagle Scout, I attained the highest rank in scouting, but I didn't get there alone or without making mistakes. Being able to admit your mistakes and celebrating those who have helped you along the way are the core of humble leadership. Number five, set the example. As a father, as a spouse, as a mentor, as an owner, you are being watched. Others take note of the good and bad character that make up your reputation. So if you don't practice the four previous pillars, why does it matter? So as you go through your busy days, take a moment to reflect on the 5 pillars. Implementing these 5 behaviors will guide and sustain you. Your life has prepared you to be a success. You see, success looks different for each person. It may be health, family, energy, forgiveness. It may be money. Money is king today and it makes the world go round. It is defining success. The more we have of it, the more successful we are, right? But to each one of you, success looks different. Whatever your answer is, don't choose anything that will jeopardize yourself. Prioritize who you are, who you want to be, and don't spend any time with anything that antagonizes your character. Life is not easy. It's not. Don't try to make it easy. Never was, isn't now, will never be. Life is not a popularity contest. Do not drink the Kool-Aid. It tastes sweet, but it will give you cavities tomorrow. Be brave and take the hill, whatever that hill may look like. Thank you. Sting 'em.
Next up, we'll have Tim Brashear to introduce our next honoree.
Thank you, Hunter. I met Henry on a recruiting trip to West Texas, and I have been grateful ever since. Henry thrived from the moment he arrived on campus. He excelled in everything he did, but especially athletically. He was a part of a special group of young men who were unique in the way they worked, competed, and pushed each other to be the best. It was fun to be a part of, witness, and coach. It's impressive what a group of like-minded men, people, can do when they work together. Henry and his teammates certainly did this. Henry was definitely a leader of the team and the follower of some of his accolades while at Howard Payne University. From 1996 to 1999, Henry lost one conference match, compiling a record of 57-1. President. His senior year, he compiled an overall record of 31-3. He was the American Southwest Conference Player of the Year in 1996. He was first team All-Conference in 1996, 97, 98, and 99. He was two-time Yellow Jacket Award recipient in 98 and 99. He was a two-time Paul J. Cunningham Award recipient in 98 and 99. He was the American Southwest Conference Player of the Year in 1999. He's a two-time national champion qualifier in both singles and doubles. Upon graduating, Henry spent a short stint as a student assistant coach under the head coach of Chris Dupler in 99 and 2000. Since his time at Howard Payne, he has spent most of his career at Glen Eagles Country Club as a director of tennis building, which is one of the largest tennis programs in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. He has an activity-packed calendar which plays host to events such as the Davis Cup Championship, membership gifts tournaments, the Hendricks Pro-Am Scholarship Foundation Tournament, and this is just to name a few. Team tennis is a big part of the program at Glen Eagles, with nearly 40 teams, which includes TDC, Metro, and United States Tennis Association. His year-round All-Star Junior Academy program mentors hundreds of kids yearly to compete and enjoy the game of tennis. In 2019, Henry was named the Club Corp Tennis Pro of the Year. Henry is married to Amanda. They have 2 children, Gavin and Layla, and they reside in Frisco. Henry, you certainly rose above many to set yourself apart. It is my honor to be able to present this award to you. It's well deserved, and I'm very proud for you. Congratulations. Please give a strong round of applause to Henry, your 2023 Sports Hall of Fame inductee.
Well, there's nothing like following Jared Root, who is the real speaker. But this is truly an honor. This is Howard Payne is truly a big part of my life. There's a lot of people in this room that mean a lot to me. Some of the special moments here at Howard Payne University are extremely important. I was baptized at Coggin Avenue Church with Tim Brasher and his beautiful wife Michelle and his parents. So those are some of the special moments that I had here. But truly, I want to thank my mother, who has raised all 6 children of us, and be the first to go to school was a big deal. So that was super exciting. That was one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. But like Tim was saying, when God has a plan, He has a plan. I was 100% going to Hardin-Simmons. My dorm was paid for. My coach, I don't even remember, was it Drake? Drake was the coach, so we had a plan. But when they tell you God has a plan, He has a plan. So I played a tournament in West Texas, like he said, in Andrews, Texas. I don't know if you guys know where that's at, but Andrews, Texas. I was playing a tournament, and Tim and Kyle Henry, who's kind of the assistant coach, but he played on the team, I guess. Just kidding. So I went there, and a funny story, he told me, he was asking me to come check out the school. I was like, there's no way I can get there. My mom has 5 kids. There's no way I was going to make it. The fact that my mom put me on the bus and shipped me to Brownwood all by myself for my first recruit, and that was all it took. I met Tim and his family, and it truly is, like I said, I still talk to him as much as I can. I know we're busy and we're raising families, and his family's all grown up, but truly being part of the school and will always be a big part of my life. And some of my best friends are in here, Brad Eccles, Jeremy Hill, and Kyle Henry. I get to talk to those guys every day. They were on my team, so being around them has made me the person I am today. So another reason why this day is going to be so special, and I'll get off, I promise. It is my 18th anniversary, and my wife is here. So that's a special day I'll always remember. So Thank you guys, thank you Howard Payne, and thank you very much.
Coach Brashear, good recruiting. I'm just curious, who'd you lose to? Andre Agassi? Okay, yeah, correct. I figured you'd still know that one for sure. So, up next, we'll have Marshall Davis come in and do the presentation for his brother Terry Davis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here tonight, and congratulations to all the inductees tonight. This is like a personal induction for me, my brother, Terry. You know, we all know he's passed away. And I have his family here, his remaining kids, sisters, brothers. So, kind of nervous, you know how you get up. No, it's funny. I can't understand how a guy can play sports and get in front of 5,000, 6,000 people, and then come to a banquet and be nervous as I mean, but that's God, it happens. So tonight's presentation, I'm gonna do it. Terry is the center of Howard Payne's latest team to play in the NAIA National Tournament in 1975. Terry Lee Davis was the anchor of one of the best men's basketball teams at Howard Payne University. And I tell you, y'all could have seen him play. He was, I can't describe the words that would make up for how he did and what he taught and the friends that he made here at this university. Earning the name around the Lone Star Conference as the helicopter, Terry was a tenacious defender, strong rebounder, prolific shot blocker. Terry finished his career with the all-time school record for the most block shots in a season and career. In fact, Terry's 105 block shots in 1976 is a record that still stands to this day and will likely never be broken. To that point, y'all just saw him here. In high school, they didn't keep records. I have a friend over there, go back with me for what, 40 years here?
We're 60, so.
55 years.
Ain't cheap, you gotta tell the truth.
But anyway, when we were growing up, I think it all started there. When we used to go up to Old Anderson High School and play 4-on-4. And see, Gary's brother Keith and my brother Terry, they were best friends. Through the history, Gary and I were best friends. So we would play 4-on-4, and Gary and I, they pushed us, wheeled us, to play, but Terry was blocking shots. What was it? Was it 9th grade?
Yeah.
I mean, we was unbelievable. We thought we had layups, and he was pinning them against the back. So, I mean, he had an act for blocking shots. He was a very good scorer in high school. They went to the state tournament, and they lost the game. But he was a person that got over a lot of adversity. Terry also had a couple of other names in his family. His family called him Dino. My sisters attest to that. And a former teammate, David Harrison, an HPU Sports Hall of Fame member himself, called him String. He called him String. I was a freshman at that time. And I came up and said, what you call him? He said, String. And he told me why, because Terry was about 6'6", I guess he weighed about 160, 170 pounds. So, you know, the way he walked made him look like a string bean, that's what they call him. So that was one of his names. But, you know, in the family, he had many more nicknames. I should have called him Mr. Fix-It. Mr. Fix-It. Because he would fix anything around the house, a old broken fan, he put it back together, but when he plugged it in, all the lights went out. Every light in the house went out. So, well, let's carry on. Terry would also have to overcome career-ending injury in his time at Howard Payne. He suffered a finger injury between sophomore and junior season in which he had to have tendon repaired. He was highly dedicated and rehabbed all summer and fall to get back to the high level of play. I'll tell you about that story. Called him Mr. Fix-It. He was trying to change the tire on the car. And it was his girlfriend's car, his mother's car. That's the story right there. I'll introduce her in a minute. Well, they were on the highway and he was lifting the jack up and under the car. You know, most people would be to the side, but he had his hand pulling the tire off and got distracted. The jack fell and cut his forefinger on his index finger. His index finger. So the doctors thought he wasn't going to be able to use the right hand at all anymore. Coach Bob Derryberry, was the coach at that time. They sent him to a specialist, and with the surgery repair, he had to rehab for 6 to 8 months. He had to learn how to grip, bounce, and write, because he couldn't move the right hand. But he overcame that adversity. He put himself together. He dedicated himself to basketball, and he finished his career. By the time I got here as a freshman, he was one of the best players we had on the team with that handicap. At the end of his senior year, Terry Davis was named to the Lone Star Conference team as the honorable mention selection, having been the mainstay on the team that was the Lone Star Conference regular season champion and participant in the NAIA District 4 playoffs and in the AAU national tournament. That year I heard that they beat a team which was St. Mary's University, a big, powerful school in San Antonio, known in the NAIA. They had won so many championships, and you had to go through this district to get to Kemper Arena, Kansas City, we called it. And it was like a regular for them. What, 6, 7 years, Gary?
Maybe 4 or 5 in a row.
4 or 5 in a row. That's the team that had Robert Reed, a former Houston Rockets player, and other great players. But they broke their home winning streak record. I think it was like 18, 19 in a row. And they were able to make it to that national tournament. Terry was a natural leader, the type of player that Coach Bob Derryberry never had to raise his voice at, because Terry had great rapport with the coach and his teammates. And I've never had a brother or a person that's been more respected than Terry. He put a smile on people's faces. He would help you with anything. He'd give you his right arm. He would take care of any problem. If you had a problem that he could help you with, and I miss him, but he was one of those people God put here. It seemed like he put him here for a reason, to help us all. He led a lot of things that we wouldn't even come close to or try to figure out. And also he was the mainstay of a connection. It says Terry, the recruitment of Terry also led to a string of other great players such as Gary Hopkins, Kenneth Wallace, and myself. They used to call it the Airport Boulevard Connection. But it was more than just us guys that came here, because Austin had been flooded during the 70s and 80s. It was flooded with a lot of people from Austin that loved this university, not only for sports, but for academic reasons. And they might not be known, but we are only the ones that stand out. But Austin had this year, I think at that time we had about maybe 45 people from Austin traveling up the highway, and other girls and guys. And we kind of had a close-knit little family, and we kept up giving each other rides back and forth up and down, and all the cars were full. On the weekends, you going to Austin, man? You going to Austin, man? And they get the road. Terry was a starter for the first three consecutive seasons and finished his career as all-time leading shot blocker, as one of the strongest defenders in the rebounding in Howard Payne's history. Sadly, he passed away in an accident in 1989. Well, this way it comes first. Tina, you never understood that part about your dad. He was a wonderful man. He took care of every need that he could to be a father. And he was helping the guy out. One of those adversity times, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Innocently sitting in his car. Other guys were doing mischief, and he was the one that got the blunt. See, in America, when bullets are being shot, they don't have a name on it. But being there, and that was a momentum to our family to learn from the situations. I know it's hard. You were about 9, maybe 8 years old at the time, and you never understood it. But I'm trying to give you some closure on this. It hurts everybody. It hurt the whole family, but life goes on. Life goes on, and accept it, and try to make the best, and try to do other things that you have loved ones behind you. Teach them what God's teaching you. Good. At this time, I'd like to recognize the members of my family. Continue to come up here. Randy, come up here. Tina is his daughter. Come on, come on. His son, Sean, Brandon Bright. Great-granddaughter. Yeah, come on, Mr. Corey, come up, please. My sister, my oldest sister, Alex, please stand. At this time, I'm going to present the process. It's wonderful that y'all inducted my brother and his family. It's a lifetime achievement for us to have come back. You know, I've been here before, but I bleed blue.
Thank you.
I apologize, I hate a microphone and all this, but I had promised I would always tell his story. There's a member of this basketball team that's not here tonight. His name is Tremaine Yates. When he came to campus, he had probably the worst attitude you can imagine. He didn't like anybody, he didn't like anything, and he wanted you to know it. But Howard Payne took him under their wing, loved him, treated him like a person. The basketball team did the same thing. And to his credit, he came back the second year, and something clicked between his sophomore and junior year that he just made a tremendous change. And I owe that to Howard Payne, or I give Howard Payne the credit for that. Their attitude and the way they accept people, and the way this team took him and nurtured him and made him a man. And I told him this week by text that I would always tell his story, so I'm not going to let him down. I know these guys loved him and respected him, and he was a big part of this team. Thank you.
So it's been a wonderful night. It's always one of my favorite nights of the year, outside of our current students graduating and moving on. And so, historic night for me, because I never thought I'd see Coach Patillo with his hat on backwards. So we got some good pictures of it too that hold true. So that's fantastic. But I just want to tell a lot of you that are in this room, on behalf of the university, thank you so much for pushing Howard Payne on social media, with your friends, children. That means so much to us as to continue the legacy of what this university is, and for reaching out and telling our coaches and myself of the students that we need to recruit and be involved in. So thank you all who help in that. I just wanted to let you honorees know that that plaque is for you to keep, and then we also have another one that will be hung in the McCullough Athletic Center to be able to move forward as well. That will be displayed. Sandy, you'll always be the only Paul J. Cunningham Award winner, so if you'd like to brag about that, because shortly after the Tammy Patillo Memorial Award came into place, and that now goes to the top female athlete, and so you'll always be the only distinguished honoree of that. Trustee Hopkins, I need to tell you personally, thank you for coming today, but more specifically, thank you for being the best point guard in Howard Payne history, so I can always put Natter in his place that he's number 2 on the assist list, so I appreciate that. These banners that you see, Abram and his staff did a great job putting these together, so make sure he has ordered these specifically with these stands that they will come right out, and so we will roll those up and give them to you as a token of our appreciation for being here. Now, the team one, I say this every year, but that goes to the highest bidder. All right, so starting at 50 big. All right, so we'll let you guys work that out. Coach, I'll let you mediate that of who gets the banner for one at a time. Some of the things that I would like for you to know of your beloved alma mater, of what's going on and how much our administration is invested into athletics. Currently, we're here today. Typically, we have this in the Coliseum, but it's under renovations. Again, and our administration is just pushing really hard for that. Am I allowed to share any numbers? I got permission. Okay, great. So Dr. Hines, and under his leadership, and Dr. Meineke, who's in the advancement office, have committed to $1.5 million renovations of the Coliseum, which is taking place currently. So thank you. So I'm not going to hit all the highlights, but the main ones in the room as far as volleyball and basketball, and then tennis as well. Under Dr. Hines' leadership with Dr. Meineke, also raised about $400,000 for the renovations of the tennis center that just took place last year, which is ongoing as well. And so to say that they're invested, I don't think there's any other way to show you with where the dollars are going and what they do to invest in that as well. Dr. Hines, you'll be happy to know that they secured a nice round of pickleball today with Tim and those guys and Kyle. And so, Kyle, I want you to know that I saw Tim playing pickleball about 2 weeks ago, and his words to me was, "Don't tell anybody you saw me out here." So I'm telling him. So I don't know if he was sandbagging you guys or saying that he hadn't played in a while, but he yeah, exactly. So, and then Kyle, I need to get with you afterwards and hear define what kind of assistant coach was, and let Ren know we asked about her too. The recruiting process starts early on that. So thank you guys very much for spending the evening with us. It's great to celebrate the Yellow Jacket accomplishments. Somebody and some people who do not get thanked enough is the spouses of our coaches. And so, not to make you guys stand up, but if y'all could give a round of applause for our coaches. Thank you for all the sacrifice of sharing your husband or your wife with all our student athletes and how much they impact. Abram and Bailey and Hannah, great job. Appreciate all y'all do. Our sports information staff putting it all together and preparing for the event. Dr. Hines, personally, and Melinda, thank you for your great leadership. Howard Payne is in the best place that it's been since I understand the history, and I know that the work's not done, and so thank you for all you do to lead us. Again, thank you to all the honorees for being gracious enough to accept it. Thank you so much for sharing your love and your passion for Howard Payne. It's always inspiring for us as a staff to be able to take that passion and move forward on the days that are long, that we're away from home and recruiting, and the ways that we work with our student athletes, that it's for a greater, bigger picture. What I would ask for you to do for our athletic department specifically and Howard Payne is to pray and support Howard Payne University, however you might do that and however that best fits you, because in my personal opinion, Christian higher education is needed now more in society than ever before, and any way that you can support will greatly benefit our students and our staff and our faculty. So at this time, I'd like to invite our head football coach, Coach Kevin Bachtel, up to the stage, and he's going to close us with a word of prayer. And always sting him.
Would you pray with me? Lord, we just thank you for this day. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to gather together as alumni and coaches and just to honor these honorees that are so much deserving. And God, I just want to say a thank you to Howard Payne University, and we're just so grateful for this university. Just tonight, and some stories you can tell of how many lives were changed and impacted just by this university. I just thank you for that. And God, I just pray that you will be with us as we travel home, and people, as their travels, just go ahead of them and provide them safe travels. And just thank you for loving us, even though sometimes we don't deserve to be loved. We just thank you for that, and we always will honor that. In your holy name we pray, amen. Amen.